But nonetheless, I realize, Brigadier, thank you. I realize that apparently I'll not be in a position to get the answer to whether or not the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution was privy to the fact that Kelly is a kingpin when they decided to take a decision in this case. That I'm comfortable with. But nonetheless, let us proceed. Now, in terms of your testimony, you mentioning that it's just a recouping that Kelly is a kingpin, not so.
Yes, the evidence, my lord, that we collected suggests that she's a trigger point.
Now, in terms of your investigation, could you find any motive why Kelly would have wanted to kill SENZO?
No, my lord, we looked at a number of things. I mean, that is why the court will recall we even read the messages between her and the sister. But to say we found one specific motive, my lord, we've not got that. We are not there yet, my lord. We are still investigating anyway.
What a shocking revelation. And then this is the same man, Brigadier Gininda, who is going around lamenting that he went and he applied for a J50. He does not have a motive, but wants Kelly Khumalo arrested. Why does this feel like a personal vendetta? I think it's quite shocking to me. And then he even ends it with, we are still investigating. Investigation tactics, if any. So you find the culprits first and then look for the motive, but you will not question them either because you still haven't interviewed her. Wow. Okay. Let's continue listening on. I just wanted to say that.
What is prompting all this question is because as I listen to the evidence of the people who were in the house, Madlala, Longetwala, Zandile Twala, Zandile Khumalo. Yes, I'm sorry. Zandile Khumalo. Basically, those are the three people who testified were in the house. They said, upon SENZO being, and I'm not here to plead Kelly's case, but they said, upon SENZO being shot at, Kelly was very hysterical. She assisted in loading the deceased into the vehicle and she drove like nobody's business. She drove like mad trying to rush the deceased to the hospital. And then something says to me, okay, but then you can interpret Mr. Now, and at the hospital there, she defied procedures with a view to try that SENZO should be assisted as quick as possible. Now, something comes to me and say, but the investigating officer keeps on telling this court that, look, Kelly is a trigger point. But what could have been the motive for her to kill SENZO? And again, immediately after SENZO was shot by the bullet, again, after having been hit or struck by the bullet, Kelly did not waste any time. You know, they bundled the deceased into the motor vehicle and drove at a high speed, that is according to Long, drove at a high speed to the hospital. And is that conduct really compatible with the conduct of a person who wanted another person being killed? Now, do you understand why I wanted to know whether it was the state's narrative from the inception of this case that Kelly Khumalo was the kingpin? Do you now understand?
So, my lord, I'll start with the last question. As I've said, I cannot speak on behalf of the MPA. I've said it. Decision lies with them insofar as the prosecution, and I can't really, even if I want, I'll be venturing into a terrain where I've got no authority. So I can't take it further than that.
Yes.
Docket was forwarded with all the evidence, including Ms. Kelly Khumalo, and I've indicated that no decision insofar as her position is taken was taken, my lord. I mean, her position is concerned, my lord. So now, with regard to the naming of Ms. Kelly Khumalo as the kingpin, my lord, the evidence, it is not my assertion. It is not me who stood up and said, now we're going to pursue Ms. Kelly Khumalo. I've indicated way back, my lord, that initially when we started this investigation, it looked like it was a robbery gone wrong. After obviously we dissected the docket and concluded that they were intruders. The evidence that was before us at the time when I started the investigation, it looked as if they were intruders, and during the robbery, who were intending to rob, and then things went wrong and the deceased was shot. That's what the evidence was pointing at the time. Fast tracking forward, my lord, getting to accused number 1 and subsequent accused number 2, the picture changed, where it, for the first time, the name of Miss Kelly Khumalo came in as a trigger point. Now, when you investigate, you can't ignore that fact. That is where now the investigation, insofar as Miss Kelly Khumalo comes in, then the exhibit JJ and HH with regard to accused 2 kicks in, and then the name again is mentioned of Miss Kelly Khumalo as trigger point. Then the investigation goes further and further and further, and all manner of things that I spoke about, my lord, in terms of the links, the cell phone, which I said it could not be. As I was investigating, remember now this allegation is being made. Now I'm trying to find collaboration to say, could this be true or false? And if we found that it was not supported, my lord, yes, we're going to make a finding that this is not true. But then the investigation then revealed, in terms of the experts that we brought in, insofar as, for example, cell phone analysis that says I can establish the link between accused 5 and Miss Kelly Khumalo with regards to those 2 calls. We've dealt with that. Then he comes in and says, but I can also find the see-through bag between accused 3, the see-through bag that is a common link between accused 3, Miss Kelly Khumalo in specific, because I'm talking to her, and the other links that that I'm talking about, my lord. Now, if you take that collectively, and I've also touched base on the issues of the cell phones, which at the time of the offense were not disclosed to the police at the time, because we're now trying to find collaboration, whether there is substance in what was suggested in the confessions. You find all these facts, my lord. You cannot now ignore those things and say, no, it's not true. Evidence that was collected, not my thinking, evidence that was collected supported that there was a trigger point for Miss Kelly Khumalo. And that's what the evidence said, my lord, emanating from the confessions of both accused number 1 and accused number 2, because that is where the name of Miss Kelly Khumalo started, not before that. Yes, my lord, I just want to put this into correct context. When I said this is where the name Kelly Khumalo came up, I meant to say when her name was now labeled as a mastermind. That's the right context I want to put it.
You know what? Gininda said something right now. And you know what? We listen, we don't judge. So if I apply that concept, we listen, we don't judge. Everything that Gininda just said, and I wish you guys could see my note. Anytime he goes off on a tangent, I always just write blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to write down everything he says because it's a lot, okay, Guningi. And I get to see like a counter of how long he actually talks. And sometimes it's like, wow, how's the interpreter supposed to get all this, sir? But anyway, I digress. I want to talk about when Nisi said, I'm not here to plead Kelly's case. Surprise, surprise. I'm also not here to plead Kelly's case. But based on what Gininda just said, it's like a light bulb went off. And I said to myself, wait a minute. Gininda said Kelly Khumalo was a victim the entire time until Exhibit JJ and HH came into play. And that is the statements for the confessions for accused number 1 and accused number 2. Before that, she was always seen as a victim. It was always a robbery gone wrong. And then it suddenly turned into a hit only after they got Mzansi and and Ubongani Ntanzi. Of course, we know that in 2018, Zungunaiza Junior and Senior met up with Gininda and but he doesn't mention Kelly from then. He says Kelly's name comes up only after Exhibit JJ and HH. First of all, there's a lot of people in the comment section who call me sisters, okay? I love it. Don't stop. It's a very endearing term to me. And, you know, I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm with my brothers. I feel like, yes, we have a connection. So it's just so, how can I say it? Shocking. Yeah. I think it's so shocking that a lead investigator would think that that could mean because someone says sisters to me in the comment section, therefore I'm linked to them, therefore we are colluding and, you know, we're commissioning a crime. Wow, I mean, if that's all it takes, then stop saying sisters. But another thing I wanted to say is the lack of motive, because they failed to show us what is the motive for Kelly to have ended Senzo's life. We know that day. It was a great day, okay? It was a great day. Senzo's friends came over. Senzo spent the day with Kelly. She did her concert. That was the Saturday. Is it the Saturday or the Sunday? You know, they spent the day together. They spent a full day together. Okay, it was Jolo day, okay? It was great, and it ended up at Kelly Khumalo's mother's house. And Khumalo is the host, okay, with the most. She said, I don't care if you're married to somebody else. I don't care that, you know, you haven't married my daughter. I don't care. I'm going to host you guys, and I'm going to cook for you guys Sunday lunch. It's going to be nice. You can even drink alcohol at my house, okay? I am Khumalo, okay? Nobody can tell me what to do. This is Gugwamila, okay? This is my place. Now, this is where I feel like I might be pleading Kelly's case. Bear with me before you click off. Bear with me. We listen, we don't judge. It's Gininda's fault, because he's the one who brought it up. I feel that Kelly's conscience was coming alive round about that time of Exhibit JJ and H8 or HH, and just before that. So they had to cook up this exhibit. They had to cook up these confessions. They had to have actual intruders behind bars, because before that, there was no one arrested. There hasn't been someone that's been arrested and sitting in jail waiting while they build their case. Like, you know, the AKA case, those guys have been inside Phakathi for 9 months while the investigations continue. This is not the case in the SENZO MEYIWA trial. Okay, we see Mzansi Unfiltered was arrested May 2020, and Ubongani Ntanzi was arrested June 16, 2020. And then after that, it led to the other three. So it all happened in a short period of time. And then, you know, in October, they were now arraigned inside the court and now charged with that summary of facts that, you know, Baloyi doesn't want read by Umnisi. But you know what? We're not there. But before that, there was nothing. I wish I could go into the archives. And, you know, these are things that take up so much time. I've never had so many notes with a witness. I have used up 4. I can't even believe this. I've used up 5. I have used up 5 notepads just on Gininda alone. And no, it doesn't include trial within a trial. 5 notepads, page upon page upon page, of everything that Gininda says, because he says a lot, okay? He says a lot. Also, I've had to produce more videos, because every sentence Gininda says can actually become a video on its own. That's how much information this man is spilling out. But, so I say to myself, now I got to go back to the notes. I need to build timelines, because what was happening before Mzansi Unfiltered? What was happening before Absalom Zungu? Nothing. The last arrest was Uzamugu Hlembata. And from then on, it was Zwi, Dololo. Nothing was happening. What was happening in the Kelly Khumalo household, the sisterhood? Is that not the time when Uzandi and Kelly also divorced each other? Can someone fact check me on that? And I believed that was... I don't want to pause my recording to do this. I want to continue my chain of thought. Somebody please drop it in the comment section. When did Kelly Khumalo and Uzandi divorce each other? Because I feel that is round about the same time that, you know, consciences were coming alive. Kelly Khumalo's daughter was growing up. She's starting to ask questions. She's starting to look like her dad, you know. And maybe, just maybe, again, I'm not pleading Kelly Khumalo's case, but just maybe, there was a little bit of remorse in Yana coming from Kelly Khumalo. And Kelly Khumalo is probably telling the investigators or whoever is in charge of this whole cover-up that, listen, I want to come clean, okay? I'm done with this. I want to tell the real story. You know what? I know if I do it in a TV interview or if I do it in a Netflix documentary, the amount of money I'm going to make is going to be a lot of money. So you know what? I'm going to do it. And then the problem with that is, in Kelly Khumalo coming out clean, it throws a lot of people under the bus. And by a lot of people, I mean a lot of decorated people. Because we saw there were a lot of decorated people who arrived at the crime scene. I don't want to mention names because I don't have any facts to back this up. And you know what? Agula Baba, Angina Baba, okay? Angina Baba. So I cannot, this is just my thought process is going wild based on what Gininda said. And I'm really thinking something happened. Kelly had a change of heart. and now she wanted to backtrack and tell the truth, and everybody said, I'm not going down for this. Okay, you're sticking to the end. Okay, we're sticking with your story until the end. But Kelly Khumalo kept saying, I wanna come out, I wanna come out. And then they said, if you do, this is what we're gonna say about you. That is why Kelly Khumalo has not been arrested. They began to call her Kelly the Kingpin. Funny enough, her birthday cake says King Kelly. I think that's ironic. I'm gonna insert it somewhere here. I think it's ironic that was her cake. Her cake decorator, is that what they're called? No, cake topper. It says King Kelly. But what for me is surprising, I think that's what happened. So they're using this Kelly is the Kingpin to keep her silent, to keep her in line, and to make sure that, all the others don't fall down because of her. But then the problem is there's these damn YouTubers, these YouTube experts in the comment section, and then the defense team suddenly, they're building up strength. Where are they finding their strength? Because think about it. If Kelly Khumalo comes clean, confesses, where did the bullet come from? Mr. Bullet Planter has to go down. Decorated people who were there that night that said, okay, sit down. This is the story we're all going to tell. They have to go down. There's a lot of people that will go down, and no one is willing to go down, which is why they've now labeled Kelly Khumalo as the Kingpin. And we know Zandi Khumalo cannot survive a day behind bars. I don't think Uzandi is the one who's saying, I want to tell the truth, because she's not that... How can I put it? She's not in it. She's not that in it. She just loves to yep, talk. And the only reason she's doing that is distraction to save Ukeli and also prevent Ukeli from doing the confession. Whew, I know that was a long, winding thought process. I want to hear from you. I'm going to put it out. Let me know your thoughts. I definitely want to hear what you think about this. Thank you for all the support in the videos this week. It's been a lot. Thank you so much for all the support. Today is the last day of November, and you guys have been riding with me. I love it so much. Let's listen to this last little bit from Gininda. I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
So in essence, my lord, what I'm saying, you cannot now, as much as I hear what Advocate Miss is saying in how it was described, Miss Kelly Khumalo acted after the incident up to when the deceased was taken to the hospital and whatever transpired at the hospital. After this allegation then came up in the confessions, investigations were done. And this investigation, my lord, revealed what I've tabled before court. And in the search for the truth, I could not, as I'm standing here, I could not find a reasonable explanation or justification as to why, for example, and I'll deal with the calls, what was the relationship between Miss Kelly Khumalo and Accused 5? And what was those calls were about in terms of relations? Because remember, she was a public performer, a singer. It could have been that, for example, they are related, or there was some transactions of some business that they were doing together. I could not find the legitimate reasons for that transaction. I could not, up to today standing here. I could not find reasons as to why there were these similarities in terms of the picture of the money appearing in the photo downloads of Accused 3, as well as the one of Miss Kelly Khumalo, and to be fair, the one of Long as well. I could not find reason, my lord, as to why the phone numbers that were picked up by an expert to say they were existing on that day, because I've explained, my lord, that the issue of the numbers came in when I wanted to establish, because when you follow the confession, it is said one of the accused were constantly talking to Miss Kelly Khumalo or referring to her as sisters. And I've indicated that, my lord, that when you were looking at the numbers that were known to the state, these two numbers, the one that was alleged to have been robbed, which was robbed and was picked up by Muleleke section, and the one that remained, which was downloaded, we could not find those linkages. We could not find calls that would have come from these accused, except the calls of the 2 of August and the 15th October on her number that came from Accused 5. But the calls of that specific day, on the day of the incident, we could not find. And that then widened the investigation, which then revealed that there were numbers that she was using on that day. And unfortunately, because the police were not aware at the time, could not get those numbers, and that link could not be established, my lord. When we came to know about them, the window period, as I've said, my lord, had passed, and we could not get the actual handset to actually do the download. Now, if you take these facts that I've just mentioned, my lord, or these that were revealed by the investigation, you cannot ignore the fact that there is something untoward, and that is why I then made the application for the J50 in terms of Section 43 for Ms. Kelly Khumalo to be added as one of the accused, my lord.
So when Gininda says there is no business, like what possible business could accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo have? Hello, Kelly is in the business of she's in the business of celebrations and parties and money is exchanged and being hired. How does Gininda know that accused number 5 didn't need Kelly for a private event? How does he know? How can he conclusively say there is no linkage between the two? Kelly Khumalo is a public figure, and maybe, accused number 5 wanted her at one of his events. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe it was for a friend's wedding. We can't honestly rule it out because Kelly is a public figure. Even one of her phone numbers is for her business, right? I don't know. Let me end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I absolutely appreciate when you do because we are now at 48,000 unfiltered members right here on the Mzansi Unfiltered. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe it because 50K looks so... What? A whole 50K? Wow. Okay. If you are on Apple TV, if you enjoy kind of investigative shows... watch Hijack, okay? Watch Hijack. Oh my goodness, the level of investigation. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we needed to see Gininda hear and say. But, if for that thrill, go ahead, watch it on Apple TV. It is Hijack. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I sat in one sitting and stayed up all night. That's the thing. This is why I stay away from Netflix and all these other things, because when it's a series, guys, I cannot just watch one. I gotta go the full length and span. But yeah, there's a weekend recommendation for you guys. Let me know as well what you guys are watching, so we can debrief, declutter from Gininda. Should I go live on Sunday? Let me know as well in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. 48,000 subscribers. Road to 50K. Here we come.